check-in right here, presented by Ritmo y Cultura and Gasolina. That's your boy DC. Man, I got none other than my homie from the East Coast, Ralphy Dreamz. What's good, bro?
That's right. What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Man, we chilling, bro. We working. I see you working, so I gotta, I gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta stay on my toes if you working too. Like anybody who's around me, like it inspires me. So I'm like, I see you doing your thing, and I see you diving into this bachata stuff, which we were talking off air a little bit, and I was telling you how like I feel like this genre of music doesn't is not getting as much love as it used to. There's no new juice, no new sauce. So I appreciate you picking that up, especially you got Dominican roots too. So
Thank you, brother.
it's like,
Thank you. Thank
doing
you.
your thing. So
No, and like I was telling you, man, it's a pleasure, speaking with you. And even though we're meeting virtually, but I was telling you off air that I wanted to meet you when I was out there in LA, and it's cool how God works, and He finally connected us through Becky. So I'm
yeah,
very grateful, man.
yeah,
But
shout out
yeah,
Becky
bachata, bro. Yeah, big shout out to Becky, man.
for sure. You're a young artist. I don't want to say you're aspiring because you're doing this thing. You are in the game. You are pushing your culture. You are pushing the culture, and so it's not like you're an aspiring artist. You are an artist. So take me back. Well, in these interviews, I like to like dive into the artistry, to the beginnings, to how you work and everything like that. So take me back to where Ralphie Dreams was like, you know, that little fire, esa llamita was like, yo, you're gonna start creating music. What was that at?
So this the whole project started when I was like 16. I was living in Jersey,
Okay.
and I started a band with like friends and family, and in reality I was supposed to be the guitar player, but the lead singer never showed up. So one of my cousins was like, "Yo, you should just sing." And I was like, "All right, cool. I don't know how to sing, but let's do it." And then he's like, "No, no, no, you're gonna sing, and we're gonna get another guitar player." Because I wasn't that good either. So I was like, "Oh, damn." So that's when it all started. Then 2013, I graduated high school, came down to Florida, and I met a couple of people. I started learning a little bit about the industry.
Yeah.
Not much, but the whole part of like the recording process, that's when I really started learning. And I fell in love with the music and how everything was sounding. I developed my voice a little bit better. And it happened, I would say 2 years after, or three. No, I would say 3 years ago from today. I don't know if you know AJ Callejero.
Yeah, my boy, my boy.
Okay, so he showed me love on the platform that he was on, which was Spotify, and he just opened like a little door for me that I didn't know about. And ever since then, I was just like on fire. I was just like, you know what? I have to keep doing music. So I would hit him up like, yo, AJ, what do you need me to do? Like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what's going on. And then he's like, bro, just do music. And I'm like, what do you mean do music? Just
Yeah,
do music. So he opened a lot of doors for me, and he lit up that fire, man. Literally, I'll tell you the truth. It was the same day that I was about to throw in the towel, bro.
damn.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that, like we were saying before, that the bachata is hard, and that like bachata might be easier, reggaeton is easier than bachata, but in reality, I don't think anything in life is easy, you know. So right when I was about to like just be like, yo, is this thing really for me? He came and DM'd me, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna put you on this playlist, like as the cover, and that's when everything started for me, brother.
That's amazing, bro. And that's
Yeah.
amazing that you're around people like that. Cause I mean, AJ, like I look up to AJ. I tell him all the time, like, yo, bro, you
Oh
inspire
yeah.
me. Like you inspire me, dog. I be DMing him and texting him like, yo, like, what do I need to do? Like, and he's like, nah, bro, you're doing your thing. I'm like, hey. So you having and knowing people like that for real, I mean, it shows that you're in the right place, that you're doing the right thing, like you have things set up right. It's just things are gonna happen, like you said, when God's time, when the universe lines up and stuff like that. So
That's right.
that's dope. Talk to me about like picking up and like doing bachata. So what inspired to do bachata? Because there's a lot of genres. You're from New York, so you could win like hip hop, R&B. You could have obviously reggaeton. So the inspiration behind jumping in and doing bachata.
Everything is just, I feel like the feeling of bachata, like when you're singing bachata and you're able to express that feeling, that even though we might dress like we're from the hood, or we might dress differently, like
Yeah,
people, we have feelings, we're human. So when you're able to interpret that feeling and see how people emotions get, like like let's say people start dancing real close to each other. Like I love that. I love that whole culture of bachata, the way that people dance. But on my feeling, that's my main thing. Like if the song has feeling and you
Yeah.
could interpret it easy, like que le dé al público, I think that's very important. And that's what I love about it. Like when I listen to songs from Aventura and stuff like that, or Royce maybe, or old school bachata, when I sit down and listen to them, I'm like, wow, like it hits me,
Yeah.
and that's powerful.
That's dope. Walk me through a session in the studio with Ralphy Dreamz. What's that like? What does Ralphie need to start creating music? Do you start with like the pen first, like the melody, like the lyrics, or is it like the instrumentation first? Like what's up with that?
With me, first is I'll get a guitar or I'll get a piano
Okay.
and the melodies right away. If the melodies catch my attention or if I come up with good melodies, right away like I just start writing. Right now I've been focusing a lot on doing covers. So I've been doing like a lot of Mexican regional songs
We're gonna
and
talk about that. We're gonna talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah. But in the studio that's the first thing and just a good energy, like if I'm working with other producers or if I'm working with different engineers,
Yeah.
just the energy, I love working with musicians that are creative, and
Okay.
even if they're not known musicians, because I've worked with known musicians, but I like grabbing like younger kids or even if they're older men, but that they have like that right concept. Like I just let them be themselves. And I feel like that's why my music has been working for me because I grab a guitar player that might not be the best in the world and I let them be themselves and the song comes out amazing because they're putting all that energy onto the
Hmm.
project. And
That's
I feel
dope.
like they care a lot more, than someone that has years in it and they're just doing it to get paid.
Dope. So you don't have like a specific band. You pick up artists. You got different type of musicians around you. You're like, yo, let's hop in and do songs, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I have my cousin, he lives in the Dominican Republic. He's
Okay.
like my main guitar player, but I also use a good friend of mine that he actually plays with Prince Royce.
Mm,
His name is Javier. Yeah. So I use mainly those two guys because I feel like our energies are there and they believe what I'm trying to accomplish.
yeah.
So it makes my job easier. And I don't get into their creating process and they don't get into mine. So we never clash. So it's really dope.
Dope. Dope. Okay. You did mention that you're doing covers, and
Mhm.
these past two projects, I was amazed. I was like, what? I was like, hold on. First, you did the Chanta stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican American. I'm from LA, so the Jalisco mariachi. Like I'm like, that's my shit. And you did that, and I was like, I stepped back and I was like, okay, this is actually
What's
pretty good.
next?
And I was like, this is actually pretty good. I'm like, this is
Uh,
dope. And I was like, this is a vibe,
thank you,
you
brother.
know. And then you hit us with the next one, and it was like the corrido stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
T3r Elemento, Fuerza Regida. I'm like, hold up,
Yeah.
like my guy over here got something going on. I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
I've never seen some shit like that,
That's why I did it.
especially I know now everybody's gravitating and collaborating with like Mexican artists, Latinos Unidos, all that stuff. But we never seen something like this. So talk to me
Mhm.
about the inspiration of like doing covers of like, let's say first the Chente one, which was La Diferencia, that EP.
Okay.
So talk
Yeah,
to me about
so
that and hopping doing fucking classic Mexican songs, regional Mexican songs into bachata.
look at how amazing the whole Vicente project was. So
Yeah.
I started it last year around this time,
Okay.
right? And at first it was gonna be just 4 songs, and I was excited about it because my grandfather, my father, in especially here in the United States and even in the Dominican Republic, even though I wasn't born and raised over there, but when you would go and visit, you would hear a lot of, Vicente Fernandez, even Antonio Aguilar
Yeah.
and Los Tigres del Norte. So I grew up listening to this type of music. So to
Wow.
me, it's nothing like, oh wow, like who are these people? Like I would hear this growing up. So when I started the Vicente project, I sat down with my father. I called my grandfather. I was like, "Hey, what are your favorite songs?" And he couldn't remember the names, but he remembered certain words, so that's how I was able to capture something. But I started working the Vicente project, and in the middle of a session, I just I wanted to catch his feeling, so I let the songs play, and I was listening, and a song of T3r Elemento came up, and at that time, so mind you, I'm writing my own songs, I'm working on the Vicente project, and this song hits me, and I'm like, yo, who is this? And then I look at the TV, and I'm like, yo, that's a young ass kid.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'm like, yo, but they have punchlines. I'm like, this is like trap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so there was a song, Mi Religión. So then I was like, damn, how can I? And I started listening to more of his music. So I fell in love with that. And then I bumped into Fuerza Regida. Then I bumped into Legado Siete. Then I bumped
Yeah.
into, what's his name? Larry Hernandez. I bumped into a whole bunch of these people. And I'm like, yo, they're talking about like weed and like, what is this? And then I was like, this is so dope. So when I started looking into them, I was like, yo, they have a really strong fan base. I wasn't so deep into that culture.
Yeah.
I just knew of different songs. But when I saw the culture, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I wish I could do this with bachata, because I know a lot of younger kids, that rap or sing about this, but they're afraid to do it. So I was like, if I'm the first to do it, I might create a little genre, or I might create something that might help this genre grow. And that's how the Vicente and the whole corridos projects came about.
That's dope. And that's dope that you say, like, you want to, typically nobody sings about this in bachata. Man, same thing goes with the corridos, bro, cuz when the corridos callejeros came out, and like they were talking about weed and talking about the streets, like the OG Mexicans, I've heard them out, and they're like, nah, that's not Mexican, bro. We don't talk about that shit. But we're young cats. We can't relate to being from the rancho. We can't relate coming
Exactly.
from the border. Like we love our culture, but we got to speak about what we got going on now. And we love the streets, we love weed, etc., women. So you having that mentality, you're in the right spot. So we
man.
we gotta punch out, like, some of that, some of that bachata stuff,
Yeah. And like going back into like the roots of bachata, if you
Yeah.
really think about it, like that's what they were talking about, but in a different era. They were talking about women, they would talk about a strip club, but it was called a different name. They would talk about, smoking, but they wouldn't say weed. They would just be like, well, we're smoking. So I was just like, let me go back to the roots. I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything new. I'm just changing the words.
Yeah.
And it was so dope. And like my father, he doesn't consume weed, and he barely drinks now, but he when he heard this, he was like, this is fire. Like I could listen to this, and that made me feel comfortable, even presenting it to my parents.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I mean, and then coming from me, Mexican, maybe the Mexican American, I love it. So I was just like, this is fire. Yeah. Has anybody else told you anything else? Like, be lit, like, be straight up. You could talk about it. Like, yo, is
Yeah,
it good?
like a lot of people, like even on the platform, on the digital platforms like Amazon, Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube with AJ, like they would hit me up, and as soon as I dropped the album, they were like bachatas verdes, like everybody was calling that, and I was like, bachatas verdes, yo, and they're like, this is fire, and I'm like, and I was scared to do the project. I was like, damn, ¿quién me va a apoyar? Who's gonna
Right.
like this has never been done in bachata.
Right.
Like, who's gonna support this? And obviously, you do get those negative comments like, this is not bachata. But out of let's say 1,000 people, only one say one bad thing. So that to me is like an amazing outcome.
Nah, and it's dope that you're backing it too, because the corridos, they also got that same backlash when they did that shit. Like, oh, this is
Yeah,
like, so you backing that, and like, and this goes back to what I said. Like, this is Latin culture. We are Latinos, so we're blending our cultures together, which to
yeah.
me is amazing. To me is amazing. You know.
Yeah. And another thing happened when I started doing covers from T3r Elemento. The
Ah.
singer from T3r Elemento wrote to me. And he's like,
Ooh.
bro, this is fire. And I was like, what the hell? And then his manager, his label manager, Angel de Villar,
Yeah,
he followed me too. So when that happened, I was like, I'm doing something right.
you are.
And also I worked, I don't know if you know Nathanael Cano. If
Yeah,
obviously you must
yeah.
know of him. So before he even became popping, I was working with his producer. His name is Danny Felix,
Okay.
and I met him through IG. I found him in an interview on YouTube, and I started watching this kid play guitar, and I was like, yo, this guy is insane. So I DM'd him. I was like, yo, what's up? I do bachata. I want to work with you. And as soon as we started working, like 2 weeks later, I found out that he's working with Nathaniel Cano, and I was like, this is so crazy. And then like 2 weeks later, Bad Bunny does a song with
Yeah.
Nathaniel, and I was like,
Damn.
what? This
Bro, you're
is
doing it. You're part. You're
crazy.
part. You could. I could honestly say that you're part of what this new generation is of Latin music, where the barriers are being broken. That we're not following rules because there is no rules in music. Like we're all culture. Like you said, you grew up listening to Vicente and Los Tigres del Norte and stuff like that. So I was like,
Mhm.
that's part of our culture, you know. So
That's right.
it's like why wouldn't you integrate that just because you're Dominican and you just only
Because I'm
bachata?
Dominican. Yeah, and they love bachata. Like I've met so many Mexicans and Salvadorian, Colombians, and they're like, we love bachata.
Oh hell
And
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, we love vallenato, we love regional, we love
yeah,
everything. Like
yeah,
it's just no one has ever sat down and really like put them together.
yeah.
But I see now that it is happening. I see a lot of urbans,
Mm-hmm.
recording with the Mexican regional artists, and I think that's dope. That's really amazing.
No, it is, and like I said, we are the generation. You're part of the generation that's breaking barriers. That's like,
Yeah,
nah, we're not just in the box. Like we're Latinos, and Latinos have a sound, and we have sounds. You know, we have different
yeah,
sounds,
yeah,
different rhythms that we can explore. You know,
yeah, yeah.
let's talk about the new single though. The new single is another classic cover. You know, Charino Sanchez, Las Nieves de Enero. I'm gonna tell you something. That right there, that's one of the top ones, my G. So talk to me
Yeah,
about that one.
yeah.
Talk to me about that one.
Man, when I went to right before I went to LA, I that's when I was like still working on the project, the Vicente project, still
Okay.
working on this corrido bachata, and I'm studying it because I don't like jumping into things and just doing it because I want to do it. I like
Yeah.
learning about the culture, like why are they doing this. So I started listening to Chalino, and because I saw that everybody would mention him, and I'm like, I've heard his music because my father has an actual like cassette de Chalino, and I'm like, you still have this? And he's like, yeah, bro, that used to
Classic.
be my shit. Yeah, so I started watching his videos and learning about like why they love him so much. And when I went to LA, I learned the songs of Chalino, and I'm studying him. So I'm like, yo, I can't do one of his songs because they're real songs. Like they're talking about real things.
Yeah.
So when I go to LA, everybody's like, yo, we love the Vicente project and we love what you're gonna do with the corrido. That shit sounds fire. And they're like, what's up with a Chalino song? Everyone that I met told me, what's up with a Chalino song? What's up with a Chalino song? So I was just like, I can't do a Chalino song. They're like, no, you could do it.
Yeah.
I bet you could do it. So then I started studying more, and I'm like, wait, he's doing like he does romantic songs. I could do those. That won't get me in
Yeah.
trouble. So that's how it came about. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, but where it won't get me in trouble.
Yeah, no, because we Chalino was the one that was like real ass stories. Like lyrics are like that's somebody's life, my G. Like that's some real
Yeah,
shit, you
yeah.
know.
He's like the little babies of back in the day, the the
Yeah,
future.
he's like he was that trap guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
like he had story like his songs were stories about people. Like I don't quote me, but like people would pay
big
him.
dogs.
Big dogs would pay him
Yeah,
to sing about
yeah,
about them.
yeah. That
That was the culture. That was the culture back then.
yeah, but that's what I feel like that's what connected him with the streets.
Yeah.
Going back to like the old school bachatas. If you look at how Romeo or Aventura, let's say, came about, they were talking about what was happening on everyone's day-to-day life, like the
Hmm.
song about the sister that used to get hit, that anyone could relate to.
Yeah.
The son that the mother would tell him like get out the streets,
Hmm.
like the Jose song where the guy goes to the army. I feel like that's what got bachata, like, oh, everybody was wanting to
Yeah.
hear bachata.
Bachata storytelling, like La Boda, El Malo, like this is all story. Like,
Yeah,
that's all
yeah,
story. That these are all
yeah,
stories, which is dope. So we got the covers popping. So what's up with some Ralphie Dreams original soundtracks?
yeah. No, for sure for 2021, I want to come, at least with an EP, at least like 5 or 6 songs. I have recorded probably like 20 songs that are mine,
Okay.
but I don't want to get away from the whole storytelling concept
Nah, don't.
because it's working for me. I'm getting a lot of amazing feedback, and I'm working. I had the pleasure to actually meet as well the songwriter for this, one of the songwriters for T3r Elemento. Um, he hit me up because one of the songs that I did of his got onto the Latin Billboard chart. So he connected with me,
Yeah.
and he's like, bro, I love what you're doing. And we spoke, and I told him my whole concept, and he's like, yo, this is easy. I do this every day. So it's like it's little by little the puzzles are connecting for me, and I'm grateful and I'm very thankful, man.
No, that's dope. That's dope that people are reaching out to you, and because it goes back to what you were saying, because you in the beginning of the interview before AJ hit you up, you were like you were ready to throw in the towel. So
Yeah, yeah,
now it's like, imagine if you would have thrown in that towel. Like, look at all this shit that you've accomplished so far.
yeah,
In something that's not like in your own lane, my G. Like, because this is your own lane right now. If you look back,
yeah,
you turn back around you, there's nobody doing what you're doing with the genre of bachata and blending the cultures.
yeah, bro.
My hats off to you on that, because
Thank you,
nobody's doing it.
thank
I
you.
feel like
Eh,
you are starting something, and you are like on the forefront, and you see
Thank
like
you.
the fruits of your labor
Yeah,
come into life.
yeah, and I want to, bro. I want to go to LA and actually work with a Legado Siete, actually work with the singer of Fuerza Regida, and like not only do like a corrido with them or them do a bachata with me, but find a way where we could combine both
Yeah.
and make that shit sound so insane. And I know that it will happen. I know it's gonna happen. I have a feeling. Something tells me it's gonna happen. But bro, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna. I don't think anyone is thinking about ever doing that right now.
Hey,
And
no,
if
for real, it
when
can
it
happen.
happens,
It can happen because
yeah,
they're doing it with like the hip hop. Like we see what Nata and like the homies from Rancho Mil are doing with like Ovi.
yeah,
Ovi's
yeah,
Cuban doing corridos, and then they're blending hip hop.
yeah.
They're blending that culture. Now we got the T3r Elemento doing songs with Burner, hip hop songs, infusing the corridos. So you're right in line, Maji. The time is gonna
I
come.
know,
The
I
time is
know.
gonna
That's
come.
why I'm doing my line right now. I'm just waiting patiently.
Hey, but when you come to LA, man, I got you. Like I know, like I'm cool with Dell Records. I know people at Francho,
For
so we could,
real.
yeah,
No, we out,
we
we
could
out.
make
I
something,
want at
make
least
something
to
happen.
meet with them. Yeah, at least
Yeah,
meet with them and just
yeah,
vibe with them, and hopefully that they do see what's going on, and I have a feeling, bro. I have a very strong feeling that this whole avenue that we're taking is gonna open more doors for me,
yeah.
and hopefully I could go out there to LA and we could link up with them and do some fire shit.
We got to link up first because I want to meet you in person for sure. Be like, what's good, dog? I want
I'm
to
the
shake your hand.
I'm the same way in person, bro. Like actually, like I think I have more energy. Like for a minute I'll be on 1,000, and then when I realize like, yo, you're getting too happy, I'm like, shit. Like, is that the music? It hypes me up. I don't know what it is. It's like a drug, bro. That just te acelera.
Yeah, it's that good. It's that good drug, the good drug, and you're
Yeah,
the one.
yeah,
You're the one pushing the product, bro. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
So we're gonna ride 2020 with these covers. We got the Chalino one out. Is there more before the year ends, or what's up?
Well, before the year ends, I'm gonna still continue to do covers for
Do it.
sure.
Do it.
I'm gonna continue doing covers even next year. I have. I don't want to talk about it through here. I'll tell you maybe in person, but I have these.
When we finish the interview, you just tell me.
Oh, yeah, bro, I have these ideas, bro, that I know that it's just people are gonna be like, "Yete loco," but it's good things, it's
Yeah.
positive things. Um, I don't know if you know of an artist called Alhassa from the Dominican Republic. He does
No.
merengue. He did a song
Okay.
with Farruko.
Okay.
He's very popular in New York, the Dominican Republic. Um, I have a song coming out with him. It's like some street thing, about love and hate. How people, when you're coming up, they see you, but they don't want to support you, even though they're your family or friends. But it's a song about that. Hopefully we do a video to in the Dominican Republic, something nice.
Yeah.
And I have a song that I haven't told anyone yet. You're the first one to know.
Okay.
With Luis Vargas. I don't know if you
Ooh.
know who that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
OG in the
Yeah.
bachata. So I have
Yeah.
a song called La Serpientes coming out next month, brother. is some fire shit, bro.
Damn.
Fire. You're the first one to know about it.
I appreciate it. Hey, that's dope. That's dope that you got that you're collaborating with, man, that you're collaborating with OGs from Bachata, that you're making your own lane. You're in the right path, dog. I'm telling you right
Thank
now,
you,
you're
brother.
in the right path. So nomás échale ganas, keep going, man.
Yeah.
You got a crazy story. Like, people might like watch this interview, or people might be following you and like, oh my, he's doing it. But like you said earlier in the interview, you almost threw in that towel,
Yeah,
and
man. It was hard. It's still, I feel like it's difficult because I have so many ideas, but it's hard to develop them at the rate that everything is going, because
yeah,
everything is going step by step for me. So it's just like some days I just sit down and I'm like, I gotta relax. Like all these blessings are happening around me, and I just want to work, 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 work. So
yeah,
I sit down and I talk to people. I appreciate you taking the time for letting me tell my story as well, because I want people to know, like, I was gonna throw in the towel, and look at all these great things that are happening. So if I could, through this interview, inspire a younger kid or a younger girl to keep on pushing, I would tell them, and a lot of people, they do tell me like, yo, like me, I sold my car, I sold one of my guitars, I sold everything just to focus on my music. I moved back with my parents. Like
hmm
a lot of people don't know that, but I live with my mom and my dad. Ya casi me voy a comprar un apartamentico to live comfortable, but like I did all of that, bro, just so I could make my career, this my priority.
yeah.
And it's not nothing. If you really think about it, nothing in life is easy.
Nah,
Nothing. So
nothing.
might as well do what you love and makes you happy.
Yeah, and man, that's inspiring, bro. It takes sacrifice, because if you don't sacrifice, there's no reward, my G. The
That's right.
sacrificio. It's sacrificio is like planting a seed. Like, if you had to move in, you had to sell shit. Like same with me, bro. Like I I had to do a lot of shit, like to like get to not even get to what I'm doing now. And I got more.
Hmm.
I still want to do more, but like I've been through some shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like we all been through
Yeah.
some shit. So we all have a come up story. And
Hmm.
you got a dope one, and I'm glad that
Thank
we
you,
got to
bro.
talk about it for a little bit. And if they don't know, now they know, my
Now they
G.
know.
Now they know.
For
So
sure.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, bro. And for real, like you were on my radar for a bit, and I'm glad that we got to connect, and I'm glad that you're doing great. For real,
Thank you,
you're doing
brother.
great.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
So
For real.
thank you for the time. This is the check-in brought to you by Ritmo y Cultura and Gasolina. It's your boy DC. That's Ralphy Dreamz, the future of Bachata. You heard that here first. I said that. I'm saying the future of Bachata. Ralphy Dreamz. We out.